Hey guys, this is Bruce with Brew Noah LLC back again for another one here. First and foremost, we always start with gratitude as always. Thank you guys for all the love, all the support. We love every one of you. All glory to God in the heavens as well as the angels. We wouldn't be here without any of you guys. So thank you guys for all the support. But let's jump right into what we have here. Today is we're going to talk about oppression and modern day oppression, not just oppression in general. But I wanted to touch on this subject because, we talk to a lot of individuals who, always ask, who they look up to and who they see as role models in society. And don't get me wrong, we have a lot of powerful people that are role models. But one of the things I wanted to discuss was how oppression, how we're all oppressed, so to speak. I preach independency a lot in terms of remaining independent and being as independent as you can as you maneuver through life. And the irony is that whenever I go around the room or in my videos or whenever I'm talking to individuals and I do ask certain questions about, role models and who they look up to, a lot of their people that they see as successful and are powerful leaders are oppressed. And they just don't realize it. And one of the ways, let's talk about two of the biggest categories of who we look up to. So social media is very powerful for everyone in terms of just on their phones, just scrolling. So I want to talk about two different groups. I want to talk about athletes and I want to talk about music artists. I want you guys to understand something. Some of your favorite music artists, some of your most favorite, regardless of what genre it is, the people that you listen to and the people that you follow and that you put a lot of love and support in, and they do deserve it because of their talents and abilities, they're also very oppressed. I want to use two mega names here. Let's talk about two, okay? Because when you go around the room and you say, hey, there are artists out there who are independent, right? And I'm going to sit here and tell you that some of your most major artists that are out there are not independent. And let's talk about two of them. The biggest two examples I want to discuss, because these hit home for a lot of people, are Taylor Swift and Drake, who are two major artists with a ton of talent and just very special abilities within this world, right? And when you look at these two, especially more so Drake, he'll say things like signed to his label and who he's with, and people perceive that to be independent. But understand something: Drake is under an umbrella of another larger record company. And if you don't believe me, just Google it, right? And I don't want to throw that name out there because I'm not trying to get sued or anything. But one of the things I wanted to point out was that Drake and Taylor Swift are both, even as huge as they are paid, if you follow the money and who writes their checks, are also oppressed, right? So there's a group that owns them as well. And I would argue that Taylor Swift nor Drake need anyone. If anyone's going to go independent in music in general and said, you know what, these are the stars that I would pick for pure independency where they won't need anyone, Drake and Taylor Swift are right up there for me. They everything that they touch, anything that they do is pure gold. These two artists just print money, right? So when people look at them and they go, oh my God, they're free and they have, all this money. And I think Taylor's worth billions. And I think Drake's well on his way to be worth billion by the time he retires. But either way, regardless of how much money you're being paid, you're still oppressed, right? So I look at it like this. So if we go back to slavery, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm just saying, regardless of how big of a house you may receive differently from the other slaves, and regardless of how much time you may have inside the house as a slave or outside, regardless of how much freedom a slave owner may give you, at the end of the day, you're still owned by that slave. At the end of the day, Drake still has someone he has to answer to. At the end of the day, as powerful as Taylor Swift is, she still has someone she has to answer to. And I look at that and I go, when you have some of the biggest artists in music who don't need anyone, who don't need anyone's supervision or money in general, how does this happen, right? And the way it happens is just society has taught us that to be wealthy and to achieve prosperity, you have to go through these channels to get it. And I look at all of you, not just them, as people that we already have the power from within to achieve all these goals and to achieve prosperity without anyone. And I love to use these two as an example because Taylor Swift doesn't need anybody. And Taylor, I hope you find my video because I want you to know, I don't know what legal fees it would be for you to break your contract or how much it would cost, as well as Drake. I know Drake just got a $400 million contract like a couple years ago maybe, right? But either way, Drake is worth 4 times that amount. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I look at these contracts and I look at these signings and I go, they don't need any of them. Think about if you were Drake, right? And you're putting out an album. And as powerful as Drake is, and as much money and as much as his name and image is worth, and how much money he makes that label, Drake has to go to them, present his album, and he has to get approval from them. Same as Taylor Swift. They got to go through those same channels as they can't just put out music freely because they're not independent. And sometimes the labels will say, "Oh, we'll grant you independency. We'll grant you freedom, right? You can maneuver and do what you want. So here you go. You know, here, yeah, you're independent. You can sign people under your label, but all they're doing is putting you under umbrella, which gives you the perception that you have freedom, right, as an artist to go out and put music out." And you can say, hey, come sign to my label, which, yeah, you have a branch under you, right? So you may own the people that you're signing, but you also have a boss above you that you have to answer to, who is cutting your checks and who's making decisions for you. And again, I'm going to tell you that none of them need these record labels whatsoever. If they decided to just quit and just pay the legal fees and breach their contracts and do their own things, they will be perfectly fine. And not only will they be fine, they'll make more money. What has happened to society where we feel like some multi-billionaire sits in an office, right? And we know who they are. I just can't say here. Sits in an office, probably out of shape, doesn't work out, has no talent whatsoever other than the talent of abusing in terms of controlling the narrative around. We'll sit there, look at an album from whoever, look at a situation from whoever and say, I'm going to make the decision on them and I'm going to determine how successful they're going to be. And basically put these people in mental chains of thinking that I need this person to survive. Even people as powerful as Taylor Swift and Drake. So when you look at situations like that and people go, oh, well, I want to be like that and I want to make the money they're making and they're getting paid good, right? Yeah, but you're still owned. This world isn't just about money in terms of what your payday is and how big your check is. This is about achieving freedom, right? From here. And I believe and I truly feel as though they have earned the right to not have to answer to anyone. And oppression is everywhere. If you're not independent, you are oppressed. Regardless of how much you're being paid, regardless of what your status is, there is still someone over you who says, I make the decisions for you. I'm going to go a little more controversial. I'm going to dive deeper into it. I'm going to talk about athletes, right? Let's be real. We look at the NBA. We look at the NFL. I'll just stop there, right? When you go to watch a game, right? Do anyone say, I'm going to watch the Lakers because of the owner? Does anyone say, I'm going to go watch the Buffalo Bills because of the owner? No one watches any sporting event because of owners. But yet, who makes all the money? Always follow the money. And yeah, you can sit there and say like, oh, these athletes are being paid millions of dollars, Bruce. What are you talking about? They're getting paid millions of dollars. Like, again, it's not about the money. Because you can take your biggest athletes with the biggest paydays, right? And you can say, you can throw them 200 million, 300 million, 400 million, however many dollars you want to throw them. But the owner Literally, the word owner makes 5 times, 6 times that amount. And I promise you, nobody goes to the games because of the owner. But yet, they are the ones that have convinced the world that, oh, listen, this is my team, right? This is my team. These are my players. I call the shots because I gave them an opportunity. This is about me. Come on now. Does that sound familiar? If you really want to go back in time and look at situations, does that sound familiar to anyone? Doesn't matter how much money you throw at people. If you're not independent, you're still owned. And I'm saying that unless an agency is independent, you are oppressed. Your favorite athlete is oppressed. Your favorite celebrity is oppressed. Your favorite music artist is oppressed. And we don't go to any of these events for who's oppressing them, which means that we, all of us, have the power to change and make a change. Because I assure you, if Taylor Swift decides to breach her contract, if Drake decides to breach his contract, if athletes decide that they're just going to do their own thing, that owner, those owners will throw penalties at them and they'll tell them, you're not going to be anything without me. Look here, boy. But they would tell them, you're not going to be anything without me. They will. Not only will they be something without them, but they'll be more successful. They'll be more blessed because this is what God wants, independency, right? And they'll make more money. All of them. Every one of them. But something has happened to us, and I think it starts as early as the school system, to where we're taught that we have to go again through these channels to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And I'm here to say, and to make change within this world, that it's way simpler than that. That we already have the power through here, through our minds and through our hearts, in terms of manifestations, in terms of God, in terms of faith. We already have all the power from within to achieve any level of prosperity and independency that we want. But we give into that whenever we jump into a system of modern day slavery, right? Because that's all this is, modern day slavery, right? We jump into that system and we give them the power and give it to them and say, thank you for that check. Yeah, I'm going to buy my mansion with the check that you just gave me. And you may think, oh, I'm making millions of dollars. Like, yeah, but that owner is making 7, 8, 10, 12 times that amount off of you, off of your abilities, off of your skill set, off of what people are paying to see. They're coming to see you, not them. So why do you need them? And these are things that nobody wants to talk about because, again, everybody's been, right? But open your eyes. It's time. It's time. Open your eyes, right? There are celebrities out there that have stood on, faith and following their own dream, and they get labeled as insane, labeled as crazy. Kanye, right? We love Kanye West. I love Kanye West. But the moment Kanye decided to do his own thing, he received so many labels of different things, right? But we saw what happened to Adidas when Kanye stepped away. They had to get him back. They lost a lot of money. They lost a lot of money when Kanye stepped away. They had to bring him back. Adidas, look it up. I'm telling you, Adidas couldn't do it without him. Because guess what? Adidas saw all the money that Kanye was making, right? They saw the designs, they saw everything, and they said, you know what? Adidas said, hey, Kanye want to act up? We don't need him. We can do this ourselves. And everybody's in that room in the board going, yeah, right? Kanye leaves. Adidas stock everything. People stopped buying the shoes. They even tried to copy Kanye's style and nobody bought them. And then Kanye came back and guess what? Adidas is right back up. So I want to ask all of you, every one of you, from this level to this level, who has the real power here? From the outside looking in, I'm willing to bet and say that we all have the power of God from within. to control our own paths and our own destiny. And no one, even celebrities, even athletes, should be told what to do by anyone other than God and themselves. Because you don't need them. You can survive and do all of this on your own and make way more money doing it. So I preach independency to everyone. And as well as just the people who are, not famous. And the reason why I want to use those examples, because the same applies to the people that are working the 9-to-5s. You don't need them either. You have the power. It's okay to work a 9-to-5 for a couple of years to develop skill and to develop the right mentality and to learn different things. But at a certain point, it's time for you to branch off and do something that you are good at, a skill that you naturally have, and go make money off of it. And God will guide you from there. He'll take you down the right path to succeed. But you don't need anyone. It's time for all of us to follow our hearts, to trust ourselves, and put all of our faith in God. Dive deep into your manifestations. Figure out your goals and desires of things that you want. And you will see, as long as you believe, all these doors will start to open for you. For all of us. And you will learn that modern day slavery only has the power that we give it. And we, as of right now, are giving it a lot more power than what it deserves. Because I assure you, the ones that are calling the shots, the ones that are sitting at top in their offices, in their mansions, cutting these checks that have convinced you that you're nothing without them, they won't survive without us. They can't survive without any of them. If Taylor Swift decides to leave that record group, I almost said it, wouldn't do very well without her. I'll put it to you that way. If athletes decide that they want to do their own thing, a lot of these organizations wouldn't do well without it. Because owners out there, I want me and you now, nobody's paying to come see y'all. And I know that all the egos are inflated by them because of the amount of money they make and what they're worth. And they say, well, I provided that opportunity. It's like, okay. You found a way to capitalize on them. You did. But it's time for our people, all of us, to wake up and stand for something. And I encourage, it starts with change. Follow God and all will be well. God loves you. We love you. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. See you next time.